You can't give away what you don't have, and you can't really sit with somebody else in their place of upset if your stuff is being triggered inside of you. And that's why the Immanuel Institute isn't just about teaching you a model or a method or a set of tools, but we're about the whole formation of you as a healthy practitioner, your own healing journey, your own relational skills, your own maturity skills. We want to help you become the best version of yourself alongside of becoming skillful with the model. The Immanuel approach is a way of growing an interactive connection with Jesus, one where true healing happens when you experience Jesus with you in the middle of your hurt. I'm Cathy Little, Executive Director and co-founder of the Immanuel Institute, and this is the Immanuel Institute podcast. Here I'm going to answer your questions about the Immanuel Institute and share how you can learn more and grow in this approach. Whether you want to strengthen your own relationship with Jesus or be equipped to help others, this is for you. If you're new here, that's fantastic. Welcome. Each episode stands on its own, so you are starting in the right place. Let's dive in. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 3 pillars that the entire Institute is built on, and it forms how we train practitioners. It's not just about learning methodology and learning the model. We're looking more in the broad sense of who you are as a person and how safe you are in that space of helping others connect with Jesus. These are the 3 pillars that everything we do in the school is built on, because we're not just about helping you build a new skill, we're about overall formation of you as a safe and healthy practitioner. When we were building the program back in 2022 and 2023, we were asked to define what it is we would see in a practitioner that would lead us to trust that practitioner. What would we want to see? We realized quickly that it was not just about how skillful they were with the tools. Yes, that's important, but that was not the most important thing for us as we were thinking about building the program and forming practitioners. We also wanted to see that those who came to us for training to help others were doing their own work. It's so essential that we continue to grow because it does improve our ability to sit with others in their trauma, in their upset, when we can come from a much more healthy place and a much more secure attachment with Jesus. In addition to that, we wanted to make sure that the practitioners were safe, relational, that they had maturity emotionally, greater capacity. All of these things matter when you're talking about a safe practitioner. All 3 of these are woven into everything we do at the Immanuel Institute. It's not just a tack on, it is actually part of the formation process during the year that you're with us. Any one of these on their own would not be a completed package. We want to make sure all 3 are included. I want to tell you about the 3 pillars and unpack them just a little bit. First of all, methodology. Of course, we want you to know the model. We want you to understand how it's used. We want you to know how to troubleshoot in situations that might come up. We want to make sure that you understand the lane of the Immanuel approach. How does it work? How is it built? What is the process? We want you to understand the brain science behind it. We want you to know the trauma-informed foundation that is underneath it. We want you to know how to troubleshoot. What do you do when somebody gets stuck or if somebody gets overwhelmed? Maybe they just completely begin to dissociate, or maybe they get super triggered. How can we help them stay within what we call in the trauma-informed world their window of tolerance, which is where they feel safe in that regulated relational space? We also want you to know how to stay in the Immanuel approach lane, know what the boundaries are, know how to maintain those boundaries, kind of like in a bowling alley. If you have the bumper pads blown up in the galley, that helps you not get out of the lane. We want to make sure that you know what the boundaries are. We don't want you to just drift off into another modality and not realize that you have. We don't want you to freelance. Now, sometimes when you get more advanced, you might want to incorporate pieces of this into what you do. But if you're doing an Immanuel session, we want you to know what that actually is and what it looks like. Sometimes people think they're doing Immanuel and they're not. they're actually drifting into something else or something that they think it is, or maybe a misunderstanding of how the model works. But we want to make sure that our students know what the lane is. And this is something that we are really serious about. We want to make sure you know what you're doing. It's really necessary and important, and it's not enough on its own. Methodology doesn't stand alone. That's why the second pillar is your own healing journey, because you cannot give away what you don't have, and you can't lead someone where you haven't been. This is not something that we consider optional. We consider this essential, and we build it right into the program because it's that important. When you are in our level 2 program, the Immanuel Approach for Emotional Healing, you have woven into your tuition monthly inner healing sessions with our certified practitioners. It's included. You have it once a month throughout the year that you're with us. When you start in level 1, we give you discount coupons for up to 3 sessions at a reduced cost because we want you to have a taste of what it is you're learning. Some people come into the Immanuel Approach for Life, level 1, which we'll talk about in a future episode, and they may not have any experience with the model itself, but they're curious. So we definitely want you to have an opportunity to experience a full session, and we give you discount codes for that. In level 2, it's woven right into the fabric of what we're doing. It's not just a benefit on the surface. It's actually going to benefit everybody you work with, and it's going to ripple out into your friends and family. Your own healing journey is part of what qualifies you and equips you to be with someone else and guide them in their connection with Jesus and the healing that comes out of that. The third pillar that we build things on is the relational and emotional maturity piece. And this is where you actually learn how to attune really well. You learn how to be with people in their upset without fixing. You have more emotional maturity, more capacity. Skills and healing on their own, not enough. We want you to have capacity. You need great capacity. You don't know what the person's bringing in to that session, and there may be some things that are upsetting and things that are hard. Even though Jesus is leading the session and even though we are following him step by step, sometimes things come up and we need strong capacity for that. And that's going to happen in building relational skills and building our emotional maturity. We need to learn how to be fully present with people. We don't really know what attunement is until we're intentional about it. How do we really help somebody feel like they are seen and heard and valued in that space? And as far as our emotional maturity, we all have maturity gaps. Every single one of us, myself included. And it's part of the journey of life is finding those gaps, filling those gaps, and doing that in a safe space with healthy community around you. There are some skills that we could have and should have gotten from our primary caregivers before we were 4 years old. But if we didn't have a proper secure attachment early on, that's where the gaps come from. The good news is that the maturity gaps that we have can be filled. There are ways that we can work on them even as adults. Some of the things that we help you build as an adult is learning how to pay attention to what's going on inside of you and to identify that, and even more so to be able to communicate what's going on inside of us. A lot of people miss that. We don't even know what's going on inside of us, or we completely dismiss it. And another thing is asking for what you need. Sometimes we miss those places because we didn't have an opportunity to let people know what we needed. We didn't have a safe space to do that. But we're helping you learn how to ask for what you need. And this is so important, learning how to not fix others and feel like we need to fix it or slap a Band-Aid on something when somebody comes to us with heavy emotion. That's also a maturity skill. What we have done with our program is we have built in a component called Just Be. And these are rhythms of healthy relating, and it's built right into the training. This is one of the pieces of our program that students get surprised by because they've never experienced anything like it. Just Be is something that we have modified from an organization called Luke 10. They are connected with other folks who are all about the brain science, the neuroscience, understanding what the brain needs, understanding what helps us fill these gaps. We're really grateful to Luke 10 for letting us use these and for the ability to customize this for our students. People who come and experience Just Be, they are shocked and surprised, and they find that it is one of the most transformative experiences of the school. These three pillars, methodology, personal heart healing, and growing in emotional and relational maturity, work together. They're not independent of each other. They are woven in together into what we do in the Immanuel Institute. Everything that we do is going to touch on these three things. Together, these three pillars create a whole and healthy practitioner, not just someone who's a technician who knows how to use the model. In our coming episodes, we're going to talk about the Level 1 Immanuel Approach for Life course and Level 2, the Immanuel Approach for Emotional Healing. That's what's coming up. And we're going to share some of the practicalities of the programs, which might be where you have most of your questions at this point. But that's it for this episode. If you want to learn more about the Immanuel Institute, please go to immanuelinstitute.com. And that is Immanuel spelled with an I. And if you're curious to learn more, there's a lot more in the podcast series, so you can hop around and get some more of your questions answered. Thanks so much for listening.